It reminded me of the scene from like Austin Powers where they run
the steamroller.
The steamroller. No! It's like Hello and welcome back to the 161st episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, the spookiest show where we watch the spookiest movies and tell you if you should too. Kyle, we've been teleported to Halloween land, although you can't really see it in your shot very well.
I'm so startled right now. I'm so startled.
I promise there's Halloween stuff behind. There it is. You can see it now.
Got dancing skeletons, tombstones, spooky stuff.
I don't know if you can see Yoda. He's got
a Batman mask on.
He's got a Halloween mask. So this is not our Halloween episode. This is coming, but it's in October, and we film these back to back, so we decorated already for the next episode, which is the actual Halloween episode. But yeah, we have a horror film classic.
Yes,
Halloween
from Troma.
Is it really?
So this is
like distributed.
Yeah, this is distributed by Troma. Troma is very well known for all of its kind of goofy, schlocky 80s kind of films.
Yes.
Something like The Toxic Avenger. Well, this is the other route they went, which was they would go out and look for people who have made films that kind of fit their model.
And then buy them.
And then buy them for distribution.
Yeah, this movie's fucking insane. It's real weird and silly and terrible, but kind of amazing.
Hey, making me look bad in front of these people. Come on.
Leave him alone.
Get in there. What is it? Get back.
Somebody was like, "Hey, let's have fun with the Psycho, like Norman Bates Psycho."
Yeah, kind of.
And then let's just make it a goofy Halloween film.
I really thought it was going to be more of that. Like we were going to lean into the like him and his grandmother thing, and it doesn't really. He just kills her like immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
I was like,
I thought he was gonna be like literally like Norman Bates, where it's like he is his grandmother.
Yeah, he's like dressing up. No, that's not what's going on. But we'll get into what the premise is because it's actually pretty fun. So the film, we haven't even mentioned what it's called.
Hollow Gate.
Halloween, the time for trick or treat. But at Hollow Gate, it's trick or tracheotomy.
Yeah, that Hollow Gate.
Which apparently is the name of the estate that they own.
Yeah, that's the big mansion that they live in, or that he lives in with his grandmother. Our not titular. His name is not Hollow Gate.
No, I
don't even remember what his name is. It Frank?
Mark or Mitch?
Mark. I think it's Mark.
Mark, yeah.
I think that sounds right. So this film came out in 1988. The only movie, according to IMDb, that this writer-director ever made. I can
see that.
Sense. Yeah, it makes sense after you watch the movie. But we open up on like this spooky. It's like they took our set and then they filmed a long tracking shot of like all the spooky Halloween stuff. There's some great music during this. It's like playful, like kiddie music with like looming synth. Like
this opening is incredible.
Yeah,
and I love everything about it.
Yes.
So the opening takes place at a kid's Halloween party.
Yes, this is our backstory for our character.
Yes. They have all types of Halloween festivities.
Yeah.
Particularly bobbing for apples.
That's the main one, which I can't wait to talk about this moment because it's incredible. So all these kids are having a lovely Halloween party, bobbing for apples. They're all dressed as, clowns and ghosts and all your typical Halloween stuff. And then we occasionally cut to a shot of an older man who we will find out is the father of our main character.
Yeah, they got he's in the back room drinking. He's got a nice light with the blinds effect on him.
Yeah, he's just sitting in the dark on Halloween while there's a party happening, just drinking whiskey out of a glass.
Well, he didn't have to steal my New Year's plan. Good Lord.
It's just so depressing. I was like, does this guy just hate joy? And that's kind of what it is. That's basically what it is. He comes, so he's just sitting there angrily drinking as they have a Halloween party. And then he finally walks into the Halloween party and grabs his son.
His son is bobbing for apples, and he can't quite get the apple.
Bobbing for apples, apparently.
And then he just starts dragging. Get in there, get the apple.
Get back.
He's like drowning his kid.
He says, "You're making me look bad in front of these people." I was like, look bad because he sucks at bobbing for the most psychopathic shit I've ever heard.
He's making me look bad in front of these people. Come on.
Leave him alone.
Get in there. What is it?
So I imagine you also had a little bit of say in his Halloween costume because you're the father, at least. He's dressed as a clown.
Yeah.
There's a point where the kids even like, they're all laughing at me.
All the kids were laughing at me. I hear them at night, too.
You're dressed like a clown!
You are a clown. Literally, that's the point. But he's like drowning his child, forcing him to bob for apples. And his wife's like, stop, stop. And eventually he does stop. But the kid has a very traumatic Halloween, and that's really all that happens there. Oh, and then the grandma comes in and comforts him. That's important. She walks in. She's like, "It's okay, Mark," and he's like, "I hate Halloween," and she's like, "So do I." And I was like, "What is it with this family hating Halloween?"
All right,
is it just the mom who decided to throw the Halloween party? That's so wild.
I don't know.
I hate Halloween. Dumb.
Me too.
But so then we flash forward. We get a title.
They did get a good burn on the dad though. It's
they?
like they're like, well, how do you even know the son is yours? I'm like,
And just how do you know that he is your son?
wait, hang on a second.
Oh yeah.
What is that line all about?
Yeah, they're just like, I've been fucking around. It could be anybody's kid. It's like, okay, I guess.
Okay.
Sure, fine.
You can throw that on all the crap that's going on tonight.
Yeah, and then we cut forward 10 years.
Yes. I am so confused on the time frame and the age of everything that's going on in this film because the beginning of it, these first like 10 minutes, we are just like stuttering through time.
Yeah, we do jump again. There's another time jump like 30 seconds well, not 30 seconds, but a few minutes after this. And I was like, why though? Why did we jump? Anyways, we'll get to it in a second. But yeah, I was like, just have it all like this, whatever. So we cut forward and there's a horny couple making out in the park or whatever. And they're getting ready to go to a party, like a Halloween party or something, but they got to stop for gas, but they don't actually need gas, he says. They're like, we got a full tank. They just want to fuck with Mark, who is now a teenager.
Okay. Anyways, he's working at this gas station as an attendant.
Yeah.
What a time it would have been to be back in the day where you just get like a full service. I mean, I guess you could go to New Jersey, but you'd have to go to New Jersey.
Yeah. Fair. And who would ever want to do that? Your state is stupid.
I guess we can't talk too bad about
true.
the state that holds our bargain town, USA.
That is true. Also, we live in Missouri, so we can't exactly talk.
But they're just messing with
they're
him.
Literally just fucking with them. He gives them $1 and goes, $1 worth of gas.
Do me a favor, give me $1 worth of gas and check under the hood. Clean the windshield for me, all right?
Which, by the way, for the amount of gas you get for $1, apparently,
insane. Wow. He starts pumping. It pumps for like 60 seconds. And I was like, is either that gas pump is real slow or gas was like 3 cents a gallon or something. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Also, they said it was full. How does it run that long? It doesn't matter. But so he fills up his gas tank, and they're just like making out in front of him because they're like, I've heard Mark's never been with a girl. Let's make out and make him uncomfortable. And then he's like cleaning there's actually kind of a fun shot where he's like wiping the thing and we see them through. He's like, whoa, look at, and she takes her underwear off. And he gives it to him.
This is so fucking weird.
So weird. He's like, here, have her underwear.
Here, another $1 in gas, and you can hold on to these, Mark.
Hey, listen, do me a favor, Mark. Take these with you, okay?
Yeah. And I was like, as soon as he got him, and then he walks back to the gas tank, I was like, oh my God.
Don't.
Oh my God, do it. Do it. Do it. Use that.
Oh, yeah, it's a I was like, don't sniff them.
That's not where my head was going at all.
I love how you're the pure one in this regard. Normally, that's not the case. I'm the innocent one.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was like, yes. Use those as a wick to make the car into a giant Molotov cocktail. Yes.
So good.
Yes.
It's so
anti-car Molotov.
That's how that's how you know a car is incredibly unsafe is when the gas tank is behind the license plate.
Yeah. Right.
Any car that has that, guarantee you has possibly not even seatbelts.
Yeah. I mean, it's very old. I mean, this is, I don't know when this is supposed to be happening. Probably like the 70s or 80s, I guess. I don't know. Because the film's 88, but we're back in time. Who knows when it's actually supposed to take
Point
place.
being is, he lights it as they drive
He
off.
sticks the underwear in there,
It
lights
just
it.
blows up in a glorious fireball.
They fucking explode. It's incredible. Oh, I love it so
He
much.
calmly goes over and calls for the fire department and says, "Oh, there's no emergency. There's a car on fire, and I think some people might be inside it. Anyways, happy Halloween."
Happy Halloween.
There's a car burning with a couple of people in it. Oh, it's the old gas station.
And I will say I was a little disappointed that we see him kill these people, because what I was actually hoping we were going to do is we were going to be... I thought the movie was going to do a masked killer thing and make us think it's him the whole time, but it ends up being the grandma. That would have been a fun reveal.
That would have
she's
been
like
pretty nutty.
like taking out his bullies or whatever. You know what I mean?
Like, that would have been like the first Friday the 13th.
Oh, is it?
Jason Voorhees' mother.
Right. Well, yes, that's true. Yes, you're right. That is true. I guess that, yeah, I guess it's not that original, but I was thinking it would at least be interesting. But we just see him blow these two up, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's just murdering, like he's the killer, and we're not like doing anything interesting reveal wise.
So he just murders two people.
Just murders these two teenagers.
Jump 2 years later. Apparently nothing happened.
Yes. Also, by the way, we're like 4 minutes into the movie. This movie is insanely paced.
Yes,
at least I will give it this. We're not wasting time.
No,
We're just getting right into it. But yes, we're 2 years later now, and he still works at the same gas station, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to hit on the other clerk and be like, "Hey, maybe I should take you to the movies or get you ice cream or something."
And she's like, no. Fuck you, you weirdo.
I want to take you to the movies.
I don't like the movies.
And Mark can't handle rejection.
And Mark, but he doesn't. We don't find out. I guess he just like molested her or something, because we don't. Well, we think he's gonna kill her because he like has a knife, or she has a knife, and we know he's killed before.
Yeah.
But then it just cuts, and there's like a court. We're in like a court scene.
I feel like these two scenes should have been like kind of switched a little to where it shows progression towards escalating type thing.
Oh yeah, like the murder and the you're right. Like because we already know he kills people, but then in this scene, because we find out she's alive and they don't want to press charges.
And I'd be
whatever.
like, why didn't he kill her? He had no problem killing the other people.
Yeah, it's very strange. But he doesn't kill her. And what I actually thought, another thing I thought this movie could have done, which would have been really interesting, is that scene with her. We see, and it cuts like it does, and we think he killed her. Or we think he killed her, and then they could do like a fun reveal where we get like a masked killer thing, and then it ends up being her, and like the trauma of the experience when he tried to attack her and she killed him, like made her snap and she turned into a killer. Because I thought it would have been really funny to establish a killer in the first 5 minutes in the movie and then kill him immediately and have somebody else be the killer.
And they could have kind of weaved that in, because there was a point where the grandmother was talking about, we need to have some sort of party and we can invite people who understand your condition.
Yeah.
And
Would you feel comfortable with a group or just a few friends, the ones who understand?
that would have been a nice way to be like, she does understand the condition because now she's suffering from it.
It would have been interesting, but they don't do anything. It's just he's just the murderer the whole time.
Nope.
So she lives. They don't want her and her family don't want to testify because they think he'll like come after them to exact revenge or something like that.
The family is scared. They testify, then what? He's convicted and then sentenced.
So they basically he doesn't get like thrown in jail. He just gets
he gets institutionalized for a bit.
But then his grandma, we find out later, spends like she's rich. We don't ever know
for reasons.
She's just
she
like
makes really expensive rugs.
Yeah, she paints, doesn't she? She's an
like
artist.
some sort of artist.
Yeah, because we see her like painting something at some point. But she's super rich, and so she like turns part of their mansion into a mental hospital for him to be like released
like
into.
Insanely secured.
Yeah, it's wild. And so he's in the custody of the grandmother, and they have. So then we cut forward even a little bit further, I think, and he's now at home, and we get this insane comment. The acting throughout the whole movie is truly atrocious.
It's greatly over. Okay,
it's amazing.
The guy who plays Mark is so over the top, and it's so much fun.
It's incredible.
Are you absolutely sure of that, honey?
I'm positive.
I feel very sure of myself.
But they have this very stilted, weird conversation through a video intercom because he's like locked in his room or something. And she's like, "How are you doing? You taking your medicine?" And he's like, "Oh yeah,
Yes, grandmother. I'm doing quite well.
I'm fine. I'm very good." And then she lets him out. And then we get this very dramatic, slow camera move that pushes in and around his glass of water,
It's where all of his pills have been.
Yeah, and it's also like they're just sitting there. How did she not see him? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I can just imagine it's like Neil Breen. I'm feeling less stable.
I'm feeling less stable.
I'm feeling less stable.
Yeah. But so she lets him out. She's like, "All right, you're doing such a good job. You're taking your pills. Congratulations. Well done." And then so they have a conversation as she's painting about how they should have a Halloween party. Because she's like, we should celebrate that you're on the road to recovery. Let's have a Halloween party.
Next week is Halloween. What would you think about having a few people over? Or is that too soon?
I will say, for all the things that this movie kind of does janky and the acting's over the top and everything, their locations is incredible.
It's a pretty good,
like this looks like
it's a very nice house.
Yeah,
like mansion.
I'm not sure if this is just somebody they knew or
they rented it or something. Yeah, I don't know.
We got to find this.
It's a good set. It's in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
interesting. I would have assumed it was out somewhere in like the West Coast, but yeah. So she's like, "Let's have a Halloween party," and he's like, this triggers him immediately because he hates Halloween or whatever, and he picks up a pair of scissors and he doesn't respond. And I thought it was very strange because he never says anything. She's like, Mark, at one point, and then she stands up really
and slowly turns around.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It is quite literally the meme. And that's when she realized she fucked up.
Yeah, it's very strange. And she turns around and he's standing there holding scissors, and he says, "Happy Halloween, you filthy hag."
Happy Halloween, you filthy old hag.
So good. You get a quick like push in on her with the camera.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So then we cut from that, and we will find out later that he has murdered his grandmother. But then we cut forward, and we are now following our protagonists of the film.
Yes,
which are these 4 teenagers. Who are going to oh, you're right, it is Oklahoma, because that's right. They're going,
I think they're in like Utah, but they cross state lines where alcohol.
They're going into Oklahoma because the drinking age
is like 18
which is
or something.
A thing back in the I don't know when this changed, but the 80s or something. There was at some point like drinking laws were like state by state or county by county or something. So you could technically go to a different state if you weren't 21 and drink. In some states it was like 18 or whatever.
Or go to Canada, whatever.
Or Canada. Whereas now it's just a universal like federal thing where it's 21 everywhere. But anyways, so they go to Oklahoma so they can go to this Halloween concert.
Yeah, it's 5 bands playing at a hangar, which sounds freaking awesome.
It used to be an airplane hangar, dummy.
Are they really gonna have 4 bands?
5, 1 out back, and they're all as awesome as hell.
Sounds like a cool setting for a horror film.
It sounds like they knew this was happening actually locally.
Yeah,
and they were gonna see if they could go and like just shoot B-roll stuff. Obviously, they wouldn't get any sound or anything, but like maybe just a couple of shots establishing and stuff like that. I guess that fell fucking through.
It must have, because we will never see this concert at all. We will mention it several times, but we will never see it. But so they're going to this concert, but they got to stop. They're hungry. They want to get something to eat, so they stop.
Submarine
some submarine sandwiches and beer, Kyle.
Corona.
Yeah, Corona and submarine sandwiches. They are obsessed with submarine sandwiches. They talk about them nonstop for the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Thanks a lot, Al. We all enjoyed the beer and sandwiches and stuff. Right, girl?
But so they stop at this, and we also established that the 2 dudes, it's 2 guys and 2 girls, and the 2 dudes kind of have a contentious relationship.
One of them is like, all right, so Revenge of the Nerds.
He's just Robert Carradine.
You're Robert Carradine from Revenge of the Nerds.
He literally is just him. I was like, I was like Googling, like, did they like lie and say that they're like, this dude looks exactly like him. It's insane. But him and the other dude, who's kind of more like a jockey guy, and I think he's supposed to be like a little less, like a little more nerdy or whatever. They kind of have a contentious relationship, but they're all friends, and so they stop to get beers, and they eat their beers, they eat their submarine sandwiches and their beers, and at the end, one of them's like, I really think I could live on submarine sandwiches and beer.
You know, I really think I could live on submarine sandwiches.
And beer.
Ah, yes, the proverbial suds.
So weird.
Those are the kind of lines that are. They said we could use this establishment for a scene.
Yeah.
So this is kind of our paid promotion thing.
They never say the name of it, though.
No, I don't. No.
Also, I have to talk about why are the tables like up against the. Did you notice the booths they're sitting in are like up against the shelves? It's. Look at the. Oh, look!
I'll look at that again. That's
the booth they are sitting in. There's like a shelf of products behind them, and the booth is like up. It's very strange. It looks like they didn't know how they were. They were like, well, where can we put these booths to film this? And they're like, I guess here. I don't know.
They probably they probably liked what was behind it.
Yeah.
When they had that like counter over counter type thing, and they're just like, well, let's stick this in front of here. It's like, but wouldn't people have to reach over them to buy like products? And stuff?
It's
like,
so weird.
Nobody cares about that.
And it's possible that it's just a depth thing and there's space between, but it looks to me like those anyways, it doesn't fucking matter. But they're already out of money because they spent it all on beer and submarine sandwiches.
Yes.
But they see a costume store across the street.
Costume rental.
Hey, look, guys, a costume shop.
And they're like, let's go check it out. We can get some costumes for the sweet Halloween concert or whatever. And they go in, and one of the girls wants to get like this ugly pink like glitter wig thing, but they don't have any money. But
the costume dude is
owner
willing to help them out.
Yeah.
If they run a delivery.
He's like, hey, I got this delivery that needs to go to this big mansion called Hollowgate. You guys just got to go up there and drop these off, and you can have the wig. Like that's for free, you know. Like if you could do this for me, because the delivery guy called in sick or something.
Actually, I have this delivery I need made out at Hollowgate.
Hollowgate?
He definitely called in sick because we have a whole conversation later about how he's going to get fired for calling in sick on Halloween. It's very strange.
I mean, for everybody else who gets killed, that guy is, I guess he's okay.
He lucked out by bailing. I mean, he's going to lose his job, but he didn't get murdered by the
exactly.
Yeah. But so they're like, all right, fine, we'll take it up there, and they drive up to this big gate, and they ring the little. It has a big like gate at the front, and they ring the little buzzer or whatever, and he lets them in. And they come up to the house, and he's like, come on, bring it all in. And they walk in, and they set the stuff down. And then he's like, you guys want a tour?
Perhaps a quick tour.
Yeah. Oh, no. Damn, it's already late. We have to go.
Oh, come on, Ellen. It's such a beautiful house.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I never in my life would a teenager ever be like super psyched about going on a house tour?
Considering the situation, this almost feels like it was lifted out of a goddamn Scooby-Doo episode.
Yes. No, it really does. Yeah. It's definitely a little bit of Scooby-Doo feeling kind of plot line for sure. But they are amped to tour this Tudor house. They must be giant fans of elaborate masonry chimneys and like embellished doorways because they're just like fucking psyched.
But I have one rule. You cannot go up to the second floor. For that's where I was institutionalized.
Did he say that?
No.
Oh.
Well, he did say that you can't go to the second floor.
Oh, I didn't.
He didn't give him a reason.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like,
clearly, it's like that's where you can see that I'm an absolute.
It's where it's a giant, there's locked room with like video cameras and stuff, where I was secured for the last 4 years.
What's up there?
Oh, that's private. I hope you don't mind.
Hey, no problem.
But they go on this tour, very excited. But then he takes them. He calls one of the girls into a separate room, and then she gets in there, and we hear a scream.
He also pickpockets the keys off.
The van,
the Robert Carradine guy.
Yeah, he has them like hanging on his belt, and he's able to swipe them from him. But they go into this room, and
the mother is strapped to a window in front of a window with the scissors hanging out of her eye.
Yeah,
it's glorious.
Super dead, super fucked up. It's amazing. And they're like, oh shit, we got to get out of here. But then they realize that they don't have the keys to their van, so they're stuck. They get down to the gate, and I don't remember them establishing that it was electrified until later.
No. Yeah.
Do they? Do they have a line? Because here's the thing. I'm like, climb the gate. Climb the gate.
They try to. The Billy guy tries to, and he just zapped off.
Oh, okay.
You okay, Billy? Man,
yeah.
You all right?
I'm okay. What the?
But the dumb thing is, later when they get through the gate, they're able to shut it off by blowing up the thing.
There's like a little box that the cop
Why
shoots.
couldn't they find anything to?
I guess they didn't know that was there. Like, the cop
so. They're a bunch of 18.
Yeah, they're a bunch of kids. Whereas the cop, I guess, figures out that box is like the electricity. Who knows? But the other thing, it's a giant gate with concrete pillars.
Yeah,
those concrete pillars ain't electrified.
They don't conduct electricity.
That is not how that fucking works.
Also, the whole point with that is to keep Mark in. The entire property is designed to keep him in if he tries to get out.
Yes.
That's a horribly designed.
Terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So then we establish, and this is the best part, my favorite thing about the movie, is we establish how he's going to kill these people. Because he hates Halloween, they delivered all these costumes. He is now going to dress up as different characters and murder them in character, which is a very good conceit for a Halloween horror slasher film, I will say.
He gives them a warning. If they don't come back up and play the game the way he wants to, he's going, or if they're not involved in the game, he's going to force them to be. And that is where he puts on all the. So I imagine they would have been in the costumes, and he would have just been messing around with them and killing them.
Then I'll put on the costumes, and I'll do all the trick or treating.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I don't know what his ultimate plan before this all was. But so his first costume he puts on, it's like camo, and he becomes a military guy.
Yes.
And he's running around yelling racial slurs. It's amazing. It's great. Let me tell you.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the here? He's yours.
But the most important thing here is that they're trying to get out, and their plan is to go into the garage and get a shovel so they can dig. Well, and he's also checking the cars. But their plan is to go in and get a shovel so they can dig under the fence.
What?
Terrible idea. It's just the weirdest idea ever. Like, go find a ladder and just climb over. Whatever. Okay, sure, fine.
Maybe shovels or something. We could dig under.
It sounds reasonable.
But while he's in there, I guess he's checking the cars. Maybe they can take the car or something, because he keeps opening the car. He opens one car, doesn't see any keys, I guess, or something, shuts it, and then he goes over to the second car and opens the door.
Mark is hiding in the back, flips the front seat open, and just stabs him with a knife. It's so good.
Right in the chest. And then it cuts outside, and because our group's waiting for him, like in the bushes or whatever. And he kind of like shuffles around the side of the building, and they're like, "Oh, thank God, he's coming back." I don't even remember what his name is, but
Billy, I think.
Billy, yeah.
Billy.
They're like, "Billy, oh, he's coming back," and then he turns around, and he's got a knife sticking out of his chest, and we're like, "Oh my God!"
Oh my God.
And then he walks up to them, and Mark comes around the corner and chucks a hatchet into the back of his head.
It's if this was like some sort of battle royale game, he would have just gotten like 100 points.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Or if this is like a gun game, he would have won, like the final kill with the axe or whatever.
Exactly.
So he nails him in the back of the head with a hatchet, and so now Billy is dead, and they all run off. And I love the scene where they run. They like end up in a field, and they're all sobbing,
freaking out. So his girlfriend is like gives a solid 2 minutes almost of just continuous, unbroken up just talking about how much she loved him, and that they
and how they just fucked for the fourth time last night.
Last night was the fourth time.
She is sobbing, and she's like, "And we were finally having sex. We had sex for the fourth time last night."
I'm sure Robert Carradine and not Velma definitely want to hear this.
Yeah, they're like, "What is happening?" Okay, I mean, everybody deals with trauma in different ways, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird conversation, though. It's amazing. But now, as they're like sobbing in the field forever, we cut back inside, and we get the shot of his next costume, which is
a farmer.
Is it a farmer? It looks like a cowboy. Yeah,
it's like a cowboy farmer sheriff.
Yeah, he's got like a little sheriff badge and like a vest and a cowboy hat or whatever. And then I got this scene is insane. Also during the scene, we cut back and Alan confesses his love to Kim, one of the other girls. He's like, "I love you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that I loved you," or whatever. It was a great time for that. Well, amazing.
Okay.
Then they get to this big field, and they're gonna try to get to the other side of it. And I don't understand what their plan was here. because the main dude, what is his name?
Alan?
Alan is like, okay, you girls stay here. I'm gonna run across and check and make sure it's like safe over there, I guess. I don't know what the deal is.
Okay.
But then we get this great shot of him just sprinting across this field. And he gets to the other side and then he looks around, I guess, and then he waves at him. It's like, all right, come over. But okay, so I understand, Kyle, him running over first to like make sure there's not a trap or whatever. Like, sure.
Yes.
But then why do the other two
come one at a time?
Why would you? That makes
I don't know.
It makes no sense. They could just
they wanted to make it feel like there's tension or something.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. It's so that we can kill them one at a time. If they both ran together, we couldn't have the scene that's about to happen, which is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Which is that so that Kim makes it across. And then the last girl, who was Billy's girlfriend, she's now running across, and then she gets halfway across, and then
just stops
and turns.
Okay.
And fucking Mark is riding a gigantic
it's like, what
fuck off lawnmower. It looks like a combine, but I don't think it is. It almost looks more like a big like lawnmower thing they would use at like a golf course or something. I don't know. It's because it doesn't. It's not, I don't think it's a combine. But anyways, if it's a combine, it's a very small one.
He's getting this thing going and starting to move it, and
she just stands
there. Yeah,
like what are you doing? Go.
Mark, being the good old country cowboy he is, pulls out like a Winchester rifle.
Yes, yeah. And then they just stand there forever. I was like, please just run. But he pulls out a rifle and he shoots her in the hip or something, and she falls over. And then he also shoots Alan in the leg
in such a way that he is going to just die from blood loss from that alone.
But also is fine immediately after this. Like he's like, oh no, he lays on the ground for this whole scene, but the immediate scene after this, he's like running around and is fine.
Weren't you just shot?
Yeah,
but that was like
30 seconds ago. Yeah, but so she falls on the ground, and then we get this incredible. It reminded me of the scene from like Austin Powers where they run
the steamroller.
The steamroller. No, it's like because he just drives this lawnmower at her, and it takes forever. But he runs her over, and unfortunately, we get no money, like good like gore shot. We get a little bit of blood on her face. Yeah, it's boring. But he lawnmowers her in a fairly boring way.
Bastard! Oh, come on, Outlaw. What's a little Halloween pretend, huh?
Meanwhile, I have to talk about this. We cut after this great kill. We're an hour into the film. We cut to these two random police officers who go into the gas station and they're like getting sub sandwiches and beer.
Hell yeah.
They're very excited about it. But also we get like backstory of them where they're talking about like their
random
lives.
Stuff that doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I'm like, why are we doing? It's an hour into the film and what is happening?
10-year stint in the Army.
The Army?
Yeah. I was an MP for 6 of those years.
Oh shit.
It would be interesting if something was like, you know, before I got my application accepted to the force, I worked at this insane asylum.
Right,
like
and
that.
I knew,
and I had a connection
if it
to
was
Mark.
somehow relevant, but it is really not. They're just chit-chatting. I'm like,
No,
what?
it was
I feel like I'm watching a Tarantino movie. Like, what are we doing here?
I was in the military police for 7 years. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Great. Amazing. I don't understand why any of this matters. I think it got darker. It's fine. So then we cut back.
Oh, costume shop owner comes in.
Oh, well, that's
that
actually
later?
the next scene. We cut back. That's about to happen. We go back and forth a couple times because we get to this is the golf cart part, which is fucking the best part in the movie, in my opinion, probably. He now switches into a British aristocrat fox hunting.
Yes, it's
costume.
God,
it's
so
amazing. And he comes out to hunt them down, and they find a golf cart. And they're like, we can use this golf cart to escape.
Okay, so golf carts are pretty slow.
They're pretty slow.
But it would make sense on the fact that he was shot in the leg.
He's shot in the leg, he can't run.
If it didn't look like he wasn't affected by that
he's just
at
running
all.
around and it's fine.
God, Hein! Come on!
But so they get on this golf cart and they start driving. And I love this so much. They're driving. I was like, oh, we're going to get a sweet chase scene. They drive for like 10 seconds.
They hit a rock?
And she like launches out of the car.
Yes. And then Alan unfortunately gets savaged by vicious golden retrievers.
dying, dude.
It's like they got some hot dogs or something, stuffed him in his jacket.
They rubbed some peanut butter all over him, and they're like, get him. Because he sicks these 2 golden retrievers onto him. And yes, Alan gets mauled by golden retrievers. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, that definitely. But then, so Alan is dead, but Kim is able to like run into the woods and get away. Or no, she gets captured. You're right.
Yeah,
yes.
She gets into like complete shell shock.
Yeah, she freezes up and Mark grabs her and takes her inside. You're right.
So he can put on his 4th costume.
Doctor. Yes, but then we cut back to the gas station again, and this is where the costume shop owner comes in.
With that rockin' stash.
With that amazing mustache. And is talking to the cops, and he's like, oh yeah, I got some kids that came through. They went up to that old they were doing a delivery for me up to the old Hollow Gate, whatever.
Not masks and capes and stuff like that, but full costumes. Out Hollow Gate.
Didn't look like a party out there to me.
And they're like, what? They were having a Halloween party? We just drove by there and didn't see anything. Yeah. And so they're like, wow, that's weird. Let's check it out, basically.
Yeah,
like,
the lead cop dude, the cop who'd been there before, was like, I know that place. That doesn't seem right. So he gives him a call and gets no answer.
Yeah, he gets no answer, and so they go up there to investigate. And I will say, as far as this movie goes, which is just complete nonsense, the manner in which they wrote them getting there actually is kind of makes sense and works in a way that
because it's simple and grounded.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, the costume guy comes in and they chat with him, and then they like kind of put things together and like, oh, let's go check. Like it all makes sense again in a movie.
And this
where
wouldn't have happened if the sub sandwiches at this place weren't the greatest in town.
If they weren't the greatest sub sandwiches in town, Mark would have got away with everything. But everybody has to get into that place and get them damn submarine sandwiches, man.
Now that you know why the foot-long Subway sandwich is so famous, wouldn't you like to know where to get one? Here's a Subway sandwich store near you.
Anyway, so they're going to go up and investigate. But he has her tied to a hospital bed. And she is able to squirrel her way free. She gets one of her hands out right as he's about to make her drink
ammonia, which... Okay.
What was the plan? Anyways, but she knocks the ammonia into his face, and he's like, "Ah, my eyes, fuck!" And he falls on the ground. And then she's able to get the rest of herself free. And then she grabs a giant fuck off knife and
just stabs him in the
chest. Yes.
Jeez.
But this affects him very little.
Yeah, it's like right in the
lung, and he's just like fine. He's not fine. He's injured, but he's able to chase her down. She runs away. I love it. He catches up to her. She like punches him in the knife wound at one point. And I was like, that's pretty good. Pretty good call. Meanwhile, the cops get to the gate and it's electrified.
One of them gets like,
yeah, fuck. Oh, they're trying to get in because they hear like some noises.
No, Mitch, no! Ah! Jesus, Mitch. You all right? Yeah, I think so.
Or whatever.
Classic movie. Guns solve problem.
Gun solves every problem. Just shoot that thing and it will make the gate open.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. He shoots up.
It's like every time they like shoot a door and it just makes it open.
It's like
how does that work?
Movie magic, Kyle. Go fuck yourself. So it opens the gate. Then they get up to the front door and they're hearing more chaos inside. And I love, they're like, we got it. And the door's locked. That cop gives it one very weak kick and just immediately kicks the door open. And they get inside and then he's like cornered. He has cornered Kim, or like she's on the bed or something like. They're in a bedroom or something like that. I don't remember what's going on, but the cops get in there at the last second, and he turns around and shoot him in the fucking head
twice,
right in the fucking dome, and he falls on top of Kim, and she's like, ah.
Yes. So this being an insanely traumatic experience for her, she is now institutionalized.
Yeah, she's in the and like freaking out. The doctors come in to help her, and she thinks she like imagines that it's Mark with the bullet holes in his head. But she is able to. She survives. Again, she's now not in a great way. But then we cut to a hospital room, and Mark is in a crib. I don't know what the fuck.
I've kind of seen those before.
What is it?
Well, like that is a prison hospital, but those are designed so he doesn't like roll.
Oh yeah, like roll. Because I was like, I think it's supposed to look like he's like locked up in his bed, but there's no top on it, so he could easily just get out if he would. But yeah, it's like to keep you from rolling out of bed or whatever. But he also seems to be like in a coma, so I don't think he's going anywhere because he got shot in the brain twice, which I thought would actually be interesting if like I don't think there's a sequel to this movie, but if there was. was, he's just like normal, like the bullets fixed his brain or whatever.
Lobotomized. All right.
That would be weird. But then, because then they could switch it. Then she becomes the killer in the next one, and she wants to revenge. That's probably that's definitely like the plot of like one of the Halloween movies, right?
we get a push in this great tracking shot.
Great tracking shot around the bed.
Goes all the way up to his face.
I'm like, okay.
Eyes open.
Yeah, eyes open. Great, amazing. Didn't see that one coming. Fantastic. And then it freeze frames and the credits roll like over his face.
Oh my god! And then the tracking on the VCR that they got this off of just goes nuts.
The version we watched, it was definitely ripped from a VHS, because in the very beginning there's like multiple moments where like you see like tracking like flashes come through the screen, which cracked me up. But he opens his eyes. Great horror movie ending. And yeah, we may never know how that story ends, because I do not, like I said, think they made a sequel, unfortunately. I will say, however, this movie's fucking good bad. This movie's great. This movie's amazing.
It is like perfect trauma schlock. Like, there's a reason that they bought this for distribution.
It's absolute nonsense. It could be better if there was a little more gore, like if they had went a little more overboard with some of the wacky kills and stuff, but it's still so silly and ridiculous.
The guy who plays Mark just sells it. It's
just so cheesy and bad. All the acting is terrible and stilted and forced. It's great. It's also very short. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, so it's like nice and done. We get snappy. We get right through it. So yeah, I would definitely say it's Good Bad. It's a fantastic Good Bad Halloween movie. So definitely go check out Hollowgate. Kyle, as always, the good people can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB and support us there for a few bucks a month and get access to some bonus content and stuff. Also, you can support us by buying our merch. Just head over to tpublic.com and search for Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad, or Quantum Physics, or those are the two main things you would search for. You'll find it. You can buy t-shirts, mugs, pillows, anything you want.
Anything that you need embroidered with Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad, it's there.
Anything your heart desires is there. And then I have a podcast called This Film Is That, where we talk about movies that are based on books.
What's the Halloween stuff?
What?
Do you do Halloween stuff?
Oh, yes. We're doing... fuck. I don't remember. Anyways, when this episode's out, the most recent episode will have been Zathura, but I don't...
Oh, God. I remember that.
The Jumanji in space one, yeah. It's actually like legitimately Jumanji in space. It's the same book. It's based on the guy who wrote Jumanji wrote Zathura. Anyways. So that's the most recent episode. I think our Halloween episode is Dr. Sleep, maybe? I can't... Katie's here. Yeah, it's Dr. Sleep.
Yay.
Thank you, Katie. That's the Halloween episode. But also, we're taking a couple episodes off here and there because I'm getting married in like a couple weeks when this comes out. At the time you're watching this. So yeah, that'll be... By the time you're watching the next episode, I will have been married when that one comes out.
Oh my God, it's official.
Yeah.
Get ready for paperwork.
Insane. But anyways, that's that. You can also check us out on Twitch. Just search Twitch and then our names that are on the screen right now. And occasionally we'll stream some stuff. So go look out for that. Also, I don't think it's out yet, which I think it should.
No, I think it's in November.
Is it November now?
According to IMDb, it's like November 3rd or 9th.
Okay, because last I heard it was supposed to be September, but we're at the end of September and it's not out yet. But Wrath of the Viper Sniper.
We're sorry for lying to you.
We're not lying. We're just relaying information that we get. But Wrath of the Viper Sniper should be out by the end of the year, I think, is at least the goal here, which we do have a small cameo in. So check out Wrath of the Viper Sniper featuring yours truly on stream, probably on Amazon or something in a couple months.
Definitely
or a month or so. Yes. Support it. Buy it. I don't know if you can buy it, but do it. Support it. They're fun. They're good people. You should support them. And then finally, nothing else. That's it. We'll see you back in a couple of weeks for our real Halloween spooktacular.
Yeah, check out Hollowgate. It's worth a watch.